Hi, welcome to Mini-Pod. No fluff, just good stuff in under 5 minutes. I'm Dave Jacobs of Small Church Pastor. I retired from pastoring in 2006, and a couple years before that, I met regularly with this older ex-pastor by the name of Russ Akita. He actually retired from pastoring after 25 years, and now he was a spiritual director, and also he just performed wedding ceremonies. And I remember in one of our conversations, he told me, I don't do premarital counseling anymore. He said, well, that's not entirely true. He said, I just gave up doing premarital counseling as I'd been trained to do it because I found that it's ineffective. Russ said, I discovered a long time ago that most engaged couples who sit across from me in my office, they're just, starry-eyed lovers. They agree with everything I tell them, that's important for a successful marriage. And basically, they tell me what they think I want to hear. He said, they're not thinking straight. They're in love. And let me pause there just a minute, because Russ would go on to tell me, how he did premarital counseling. But I just think that pastors need to reconsider premarital counseling, or at the very least, premarital counseling the way it's always been done. The more I've thought about it, the more I'm convinced that premarital counseling is pretty close to a waste of time. Now, stay with me. Don't hit the, stop button quite yet. Think about it. Typically, when a pastor does premarital counseling, he or she will meet with anywhere from 6 to 10 times with the couple. At the very least, 1 hour per session. This is usually on a weeknight. It's going to cover topics such as money management, conflict resolution, sex. We can't forget the sex thing. In-laws, marital roles, the importance of the church. Now, we can't forget to tell them that. And I can't remember some of the other ones, but eventually there's going to be a meeting then to plan the ceremony. Then there's going to be the rehearsal. And then, of course, you've got the actual ceremony. All of this is a huge commitment for pastors who are already overworked. Now, let's come back to Russ for a minute, and I want to share with you his approach to premarital counseling. I think it's brilliant. Russ scheduled one meeting to make sure the couple wasn't just about to walk off a cliff. Assuming that they passed that test, then he would meet them one time to plan the ceremony. Then after they were married, he would meet with them once at 3 months, once at 6 months, and once at 9 months, and a final meeting at the end of the year after having been married. And when they met, he let them set the agenda. He would ask them, so how's it been going? What surprised you? What have you found to be challenging so far? And that's what he focused on. Now, I know some of you immediately are coming up with objections to this approach. You might be thinking, well, what if they agree to meet with you at the 3-month interval, but then you never see them again after you marry them? To which I reply, that's their business. You might also be thinking, well, I take marrying people very seriously. I have an obligation before God to make sure that they're prepared for marriage, and I'll give an account before God for who I married, who I didn't marry. To which I reply, really, do you really believe that? I think many pastors have an exaggerated sense of responsibility for the people that they try to lead. And so I just think that whole thing needs to be rethought of. A final objection could be, this all sounds good and fine, Dave, but it seems like they need more teaching, more training, more help and advice than those 4 marital counseling sessions would give. To which I reply, then find a good book on marriage and give it to them as a wedding present. This is Dave Jacobs of Small Church Pastor. Before you leave, hit the like button and subscribe so that you'll be notified when more of my mini-pods come out. See you next time.